Tonight, the provincial government reacts to the first major projects announced by the Prime Minister and a need to recruit more officers in Saskatchewan police services.
From our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. It's an announcement Premier Scott Moe and other Canadian leaders have been waiting to hear. Today, Prime Minister Mark Carney announced the first 5 major projects his government will fast-track: energy and mining in the west, expanding ports in the east. CTV's Abigail Bimman has the details.
Mark Carney tried to drive home his message.
It's a single point of contact to get nation-building projects built faster.
Announcing the first 5 projects and more in development, led by a former energy executive at the newly opened Major Projects Office.
To get to one project, one review, one decision in a 2-year time frame, we'll set Canada apart globally.
The Prime Minister acknowledged several are already further along, like LNG and Kitimat. He says in all cases, engagement with Indigenous groups is very advanced, and within 5 years...
Yes, some of those projects, shovels will be in the ground.
But the opposition leader points out no shovels yet.
He's not permitted a single major mine, pipeline, nuclear plant, or anything else. What he's done today is announce that he's going to send an email to an office that isn't even fully staffed up yet, which will one day consider possibly approving 5 projects. This is pathetic.
As for money in a new spend less, invest more environment, the Prime Minister says being more efficient doesn't cost much. It's not clear how much Ottawa will spend otherwise.
We expect with the vast majority of these projects that federal dollars will catalyze many multiples of private dollars.
CTV News asked the Prime Minister what success looks like. He said in part it's about changing attitudes so people believe Canada can build big. The next list of projects, he says, will be out by the Grey Cup. That's November. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Edmonton.
Now, one of the major projects announced today is located in Saskatchewan, the McIlvany Bay Foreign Copper Mine Project, which will also supply zinc, improving Canada's role as a supplier of critical minerals for clean energy. The mine, located west of Creighton, is expected to begin production next year. The facility will have the capacity to produce 4,900 tons per day of copper, zinc, as well as gold and silver over the mine's 18-year lifespan. Now, while the provincial government was happy to see the foreign copper mine selected, they were underwhelmed by the list announced by the Prime Minister. In a news release, Minister of Finance Jim Ryder said, "I think most Canadians were expecting a more ambitious list of projects given the Prime Minister's promise to build at a speed not seen in generations. The omission of uranium projects from the list is extremely concerning, as there are 3 projects in Saskatchewan that are ready to move forward in the near term. We have asked the federal government to correct this immediately. The lack of any approved pipeline projects also highlights the uncertainty caused by the current regulatory system and the reluctance of companies to move forward given that uncertainty. Sask's position remains the same. Our country needs all economic projects to go forward if Canada wants to be the strongest economy in the G7, not just the projects selected by politicians in Ottawa. That can only happen through true regulatory reform at the federal level, which Premier Moe will raise with the Prime Minister the next time that they speak." A Court of King's Bench judge has sentenced James Stonechild to life in prison for murdering his common-law partner, Amanda Kiwatin. On September 24, 2024, File Hills police were called to Stonechild's home on the Okonees First Nation after Kiwatin was stabbed several times. When asked about Kiwatin by the responding officer, Stonechild said, "She's gone, and I guess you need to take me in for murder." Stonechild will be eligible for parole in 10 years. RCMP are providing more details on yesterday's dangerous person alert on the Big River First Nation. Around 2:50 in the afternoon, RCMP received a report of an armed man on Big River First Nation. The suspect, Drayden McAdam, was riding on a dirt bike firing a gun. Once spotted by police, McAdam fled by foot into the forest. Around 6:15 p.m., McAdam was found in a heavily treed area and arrested. He faces charges of unauthorized possession of a weapon for a dangerous reason, and resisting killing a peace officer. There was also an outstanding warrant for his arrest for a September 6th incident on the Big River First Nation. He will appear in Prince Albert Court on September the 15th. A Kenora man faces a criminal negligence charge over an alleged carbon monoxide poisoning incident at a business in the community nearly 2 years ago. According to police, in October of 2023, a 14-year-old employee at a business on Norway Road in Kenora was exposed to carbon monoxide while working. RCMP say a person of authority asked the employee to use a gas-powered device designed for outdoor use inside. The employee was taken to hospital in Kenora, then Alberta, for medical care related to the exposure. Police say while no report was filed initially, an investigation began immediately after police were notified last year. Kyle Kaiser of Kenora now faces 1 count of criminal negligence causing bodily harm. He'll appear in court next month. Police forces across the province are finding it hard to keep their rosters fully staffed. As John Flatters explains, changes may be coming to increase the number of seats available at the Saskatchewan Police College.
In a presentation to Saskatoon City Council, Police Chief Cam McBride highlighted one of the challenges that forces around the province are dealing with.
We've talked about it within the context of police per population, and we've seen a decreasing ratio over the last several years.
But while populations continue to grow, police forces are going through turnover from retirement or resignation.
We're going through, in cycles. I believe that, 20-some years ago, we had hired a whole bunch of people, and those people are, as you had mentioned, ready for retirement, and some of them early resignation. So we're trying to fill those spots.
McBride says the city's on pace to respond to 175,000 calls for service in 2025, nearly 15,000 more than last year. But he says there's a backlog at the police college in Regina, which slows the process of bringing on new recruits.
Our municipal members in the province are trained by the Saskatchewan Police College, which is actually housed within the University of Regina. And the growth of the province generally has led to an unsustainable circumstance where they just can't keep up.
In a statement, the province says it's responding to an increase in demand, and 2026 will mark the first time 4 recruit classes are conducted at the Saskatchewan Police College, which provides training for all municipal, First Nations, marshals, and highway patrol officers in the province. Quote, 2 classes of 24 recruits each will start training in January and graduate in June. In July, 2 additional classes of 24 recruits will start and graduate in December for a total of 96 recruits. But Simonson says there's more than one option for prospective police officers, making things competitive between cities.
We know that the policing world is very competitive in Canada and Saskatchewan. So we're competing with the RCMP and other municipal agencies, now the marshals, to get those good candidates and to bring them here to Prince Albert.
John Flatters, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatoon's mayor and city council are hoping a review of a city bylaw can avoid the uproar from last month when a Christian right-wing performer held a worship concert in Diefenbaker Park. As Keenan Sorkon tells us, some are asking what the changes will cost the city moving forward.
The city is taking steps to update how public spaces are used moving forward after Saskatoon was one of a few cities across Canada to allow Sean Foyt to perform on city property.
Anytime members of our community don't feel welcome, that's a concern for me.
Foyt's worship concert went ahead last month and drew roughly 1,000 people, along with roughly 100 protesters, over his affiliation with the Make America Great Again movement, as well as anti-2S LGBTQ messaging. But in the weeks that led up to the show, many people called on the city to revoke his permit, but the city cited the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, giving it little ability to do so for the 500 events on public grounds, unless there are safety concerns.
Anytime our public policy doesn't match the words that we use in terms of who we say we are and what we're striving to be as a city, that concerns me.
Unanimous support for a request from Bloc to update how park space is used will have administration look at a number of options to update the policy. Councillor Jasmine Parker also wants an after-action report to help publicize all of the in-camera or private conversations leading up to the event, including the cost, planning, the feedback the city received, and if there were any incidents.
Just in the interest of being transparent on an issue that really, was discussed kind of at length in a lot of different spaces.
Councillor Scott Ford also wondered what legal costs the city could be on the hook for if it revokes a permit without cause.
What are the risks to the city, if we take a certain path?
Both reports will be back before councillors in the coming months. Keenan Sorakan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Shredding your old paper bank records has taken on a whole new meaning in the computer age. That's the sound of a computer hard drive being shredded, completely destroying any personal information that may have been stored. An electronics recycling event took place today at the Connexus Arts Center. Anyone was welcome to drop off old or unwanted electronics, where the hard drives would be removed, then shredded. The event was held by the Better Business Bureau of Western Canada, and it's the first time for Regina. The idea? Raise awareness of the importance of cybersecurity and ways to keep your personal data safe.
Electronics, their computers, they have all of that personal information, your passwords, they have your data, your name, your birth date, your banking information. So having all of that shredded is going to protect you from somebody else getting their hands on that and being able to steal your identity or to, have some sort of cyber fraud.
The Regina Police Service was also there handing out more details on cybersecurity. Saskatchewan Trucking Association recognized semi-drivers today for National Trucking Week. An appreciation barbecue was held this afternoon at Regina's Wayscale on Highway 11 north of the city. This is a Canada-wide initiative celebrating more than 400,000 employees that are involved in the national trucking industry.
Trucking is very important to Saskatchewan's economy. 80% of the goods that move in and out of Saskatchewan today are brought on a truck. So everything that you buy today from the grocery stores comes on a truck. So if you got it, a truck brought it.
The Saskatchewan Trucking Association handed out more than 250 meals to the busy drivers today. Time now for our weather forecast, starting with a look outside through our CTV. Actually, we'll skip the Skycam and go straight to radar and satellite. And as you can see here, pretty quiet day. At least there was some rain coming up through the south near the Assiniboia-Estevan regions around 5 o'clock, bringing some heavy rain with it. We'll move now to the almanac. We saw a high of 29.4 today in Regina. That again is above seasonal low of 10 degrees. Both are above the average that you would usually see. So a look at the weather tracker. We will see some rain up near Prince Albert, as well as patches in the southern spots early this morning or Friday morning. Then around 6:30 a.m. in the Regina area, we should see a good amount of rain hitting us as we get struck by a system that will move further north and dissipate a little bit as we move along. Then later on Friday night, we will see some more rain in the Prince Albert region. Clear skies for Regina and Yorkton. Swift Current in the southwest area seeing some rain as well. And then as we go into Saturday, more rain for the southeast portion of the province. And then as you saw, it really gets going late morning into the afternoon. So we will continue to see lots of rain as we come up here into the middle of September. So look at your forecast. As you can see, double digits for most spots, although North Battleford is at 9 degrees tonight, while tomorrow 27 for North Battleford, 25 Prince Albert. Moose Jaw is going to be sitting at 26 degrees. Swift Current at 25 degrees. Yorkton is at 24 degrees tomorrow with cloudy and partly sunny skies. Weyburn and Estevan, you're going to see a bit of fog early in the morning, but mostly cloudy skies and 26 degrees. And Regina forecast tonight, you could see some showers. 16 degrees will be the low tomorrow. A few clouds. We'll see some rain later on. And we expect 24 degrees as your high. So not as high as we've seen in your 7-day forecast. We will see a decent amount of rain on the weekend, 22 and 23 for highs Saturday and Sunday. And then the rain should dissipate for next week with highs of 24, 21, 21, and 21. All right, let's move now to the crop report. Despite rain in some areas, Saskatchewan producers made a lot of progress last week with this year's harvest. 41% of the crop is in the bin. Last week, it was only 18%. Winter cereals, field peas are almost completely harvested. Lentils are at 84%. Spring wheat is 35%, while canola is at 12%. As for yield estimates, it varies based on the region and amount of rainfall received. Provincially, the yield estimate for canola is 39 bushels per acre, 50 bushels for hard red spring wheat, and 71 bushels for barley. Now, technology becoming an important tool in the ag industry. A Saskatchewan farm just outside of Caronport is testing a prototype piece of machinery that is looking to streamline the future of crop production. Jacob Carr has the details.
This futuristic-looking piece of machinery called the Nexat is made in Germany and is only one of 3 of its kind in North America. All are currently situated at Chute Farms, just outside of Caronport.
They actually approached us in early summer. They were wondering, we got bigger fields here. They had 2 down in Nebraska and 1 out in Manitoba, so they approached us wanting a little bit of flatter land, bigger fields type of things.
The Nexat system has different attachments, allowing its carrier vehicle to either seed, fertilize, or harvest a crop.
It's cool. Like, there's nothing out there that looks like this thing, so when you can combine beside it all day, it's definitely interesting. That's pretty much the real reason we kind of said yes. It's like, well, this is neat. I want to see this thing work.
The Agricultural Producers Association of Saskatchewan says the Nexat may have a role to play in the future of crop production, not only in the province, but worldwide.
The Nexat looks quite interesting, and based on some of their initial data, it does seem to provide certain improvements to sustainability, certainly less compaction over the growing area.
The only sticking point that APAS currently sees with the Nexat is its price point. The entire system ranges from $2 to $2.75 million, which APAS says might be hard to justify for some producers in the province.
Most pieces of equipment start out on the larger operations, and some of the medium to smaller operations just sort of wait for those things to come down on price so that they're realistically affordable for most operations in Saskatchewan.
Costs aside, Chute is just enjoying his time with the unique machinery for as long as it's available to him.
Yeah, come seeding time, I think the plan is to actually run this till after next harvest. So we could very well be in this field in the spring seeding with that thing.
Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
After the break, a Saskatchewan pastry chef competes at a catering business contest in the Philippines. The Riders have some defensive concerns heading into Saturday's game versus Montreal. Both starting cornerbacks, Stephon Campbell, Marcus Sayles, did not practice all week, and they are considered questionable to play. Safeties Nelson Lacombo, Jackson Ford are also out again due to injuries. Now, the team held a closed practice today as they gear up for their 13th game of the season. Their opponent on Saturday, the Alouettes, who have lost 5 straight. The 2 teams did play each other in August, where the Riders dominated with a 34-6 win on the road.
You can't overlook a team in the CFL, man. It's a talented league. Any team can win on any given week, so we understand that. We definitely don't underestimate our opponents.
We just want to win each week. That's really it, and just try to be the best version of us. That's. I swear to you guys are gonna get tired of me saying it. It's the truth. That's just how the group's wired, man. We're just constantly trying to find ways to be a better version of us.
With a 10-2 record, the Riders are 2 games up on the Calgary Stampeders for first in the West. The Riders can actually clinch a home playoff game with a win this week, along with losses by Edmonton, that'll be in Toronto, and Winnipeg, who will be in Hamilton tomorrow. The southeast corner of Mosaic Stadium, a brand new cairn celebrating inductees into the Riders Plaza of Honor officially unveiled today. This year's inductees are also on the cairn. Offensive lineman Chris Best, former special teams coach Alex Smith Sr., and 70s running back Steve Mullner. All 3 are part of an all-Canadian class, which is the first one since 2004. Best and Smith Sr. were both members of the 07 Grey Cup, while Best also on the Riders' most recent championship in 2013.
I knew I had a good career. I knew I had a chance, but you just never wanted to count on it for sure. So I I knew I had a chance, and I'm glad that I guess the chance was better than I thought, you know, so it was awesome.
You know, growing up here in Regina, when you start out, you think you maybe play for them someday. When reality sets in, you know, you get into coaching, and it's a privilege and an honor to have spent 16 years with this organization.
And what they mean to them.
Molnar's son accepted the honor for his father, who passed away back in January of 2021. Molnar was originally announced in a class of 24, but had to be pushed back because of an illness in the family. A Saskatchewan pastry chef has recently returned from the Philippines after competing in a catering business contest. Sierra D'Souza Butts has more on what her experience was like.
Growing up with a passion for culinary art, Emma Compton says she always wanted to become a chef.
I loved baking my entire life, and I took a lot of classes at Miller High School, and I was really inspired there.
Early into her career, the Regina pastry chef recently took her skills for tasty treats abroad, participating in a catering business contest in Manila, Philippines.
It was completely different. Cooking in a different climate and that kind of humidity was something I wasn't used to, but it was really exciting, and in that extent, there was such a great team at their catering business, so it was a new experience because I'm like a solo person here.
Serving as the head pastry chef for Rich Gold Weddings, Compton took part in plating over 1,000 desserts of panna cotta and macaron with Philippine flavors, placing third with her team.
I try to keep like the nice basic rustic like things everyone loves here, but then mix it with a little bit more luxury flavors and all that stuff. So my macarons, I try to make them really different flavors, ones you don't see everywhere.
She credits her business's success to the Regina's farmers market, saying she would not be able to continue without the market being open every week.
That's why I was able to do this full time. The farmers market's the sole reason I was able to pursue this and really make this what it is. This kitchen I got to create because of the farmers market. So it's a dream come true to be able to go there every week and have a place.
Being able to share her culinary skills internationally, Compton says she is excited to see where her career takes her next.
Hopefully I can continue doing really well at the farmers market, do some more markets around Saskatchewan, get to know other pastry chefs, other culinary chefs, and hopefully maybe look into Skills Canada, all that type of stuff. So I'd like to keep on developing what I do.
Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
It's been 8 years since STC discontinued operations in the province. The Crown Corporation provided a transportation link for Saskatchewan residents that spanned more than 70 years. Now a bus formerly owned by STC is going on display at Moose Jaw's Western Development Museum in recognition of the company's legacy. Wayne Mantika has more.
Mike Stobbs and a group of volunteers are preparing to move a bus into Moose Jaw's Western Development Museum.
It's in excellent shape mechanically. We had it running about a month ago. The air brakes work, transmission works, the starter works, so we just got to hook up power to it and get her going.
The bus had been donated by STC to the Western Development Museum following the 2017 shutdown of the Crown Corporation.
And it has sat in storage up at our corporate office in Saskatoon for a number of years. We've recently had some changes happening in our land gallery here at the WDM Moose Jaw, and it's a fantastic way to bring this piece out from behind the scenes and have it on public display for the first time.
STC was founded in 1946 and served 253 communities in Saskatchewan. However, declining ridership and the need for government subsidies of about $17 million a year led to the decision to cease operation. The bus exhibit at the WDM will recognize the company's legacy.
We're a very spread out sort of province. Our population is scattered, and a lot of folks grew up and used the buses to get from one place to another. It was a very common thing. And I know even currently some folks lament the passing of that, but we do have modern vehicles and improved roadways, so transportation has become a little bit easier over time, but this sure is a time capsule from another era.
The motor fired up, and this former STC bus made a short final run into history. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Moose Jaw.
Some Saskatchewan tots got to ride in style earlier today. Go Baby Go Revving into high gear in Saskatoon. The program, now into its 5th year, provides custom-modified adaptive toy cars for children with limited mobility. The cars come with push-button switches, supportive seating, and communication devices, allowing children to move more independently. The vehicles also act as a therapeutic tool, helping with muscle control, muscle memory, and environmental awareness.
The parents love it. They get so excited when they can see their kid finally be able to just have some independent movement and freedom, be able to rip around on their own. It really makes them smile.
Go Baby Go has donated 51 cars to kids with special needs in Saskatchewan since 2020. That's all the time I have for you tonight. A reminder, we are back to our regularly scheduled 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock local newscasts tomorrow. Have a good night.